Hello! Today we'll be making a colorful Día de los Muertos themed wreath. El Día de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead in English, is just right around the corner. The Day of the Dead is a 2-day holiday and is celebrated on November 1st and 2nd. For today's craft, we will be taking the visual themes of the Day of the Dead to decorate our wreath. We will be decorating our wreath with traditional paper flowers, a sugar skull, and monarch butterflies. Your kit will come with a wreath form and sugar skull base made from recycled cardboard, tissue paper in various colors, cardstock, and paper. A sugar skull and monarch template, paint, and a toothpick. Markers, glitter, ribbons, and twist ties. You will also need scissors, a hot glue gun, or adhesive. Let's begin by wrapping our wreath form. This will give you a nice base for your tissue paper flowers. When you're wrapping your wreath, don't overstretch it, or you might rip it. Here's a tip. If you're using white glue, use an old paintbrush to apply your glue in an even layer. Take your sugar skull template and cut out 2 skulls using your white cardstock. Then glue them onto your cardboard base. Attach the gold ribbon along the edges of the skull base to cover up the cardboard. The Day of the Dead is celebrated in Mexico and across the United States by people of Mexican heritage. It is estimated to be 3,000 years old and deeply rooted in Aztec and other Mesoamerican traditions in Mexico. The holiday celebrates death as part of life and honors those departed in our lives with joyful festivities. Brilliant colors and skeletons, known as calacas, and calaveras, or skulls, are common decorations. Today, a growing tradition among children and young adults is painting their faces like skulls. A more common tradition is to dress in traditional indigenous dress as an homage to your ancestors. Use your template to cut out the skull eyes and mouth using the black cardstock. Cut out a flower shape using your colorful cardstock in your kit. Glue these forms onto your skull base and use your markers to decorate it with curly cues and simple patterns. You can also sprinkle some glitter onto your skull eyes to make them pop. The iconic sugar skulls, or calaveritas in Spanish, can be found throughout Mexico during November. These skulls represent deceased loved ones, and oftentimes their names are written onto the skull's forehead. The tradition of making sugar skulls dates back to the 18th century when Mexican artisans learned to make sugar art from Italian missionaries. Today, these skulls are a time-intensive labor of love, created at home and decorated by hand. But don't be tempted to eat these skulls, you'll surely be disappointed. They are made from unrefined sugar and lime juice, and often decorated with non-edible items. So beware. To make paper flowers, layer 5 tissue paper squares and fold using an accordion fold. Use a twist tie to secure at the center. Flowers are a must for the Day of the Dead rituals. Marigolds, or cempasúchil, are commonly known as flor de muerto, flowers of the dead. It's believed that the scent of these bright orange blooms helps attract souls to the ofrenda, or altar in English. Ofrendas are typically decorated with clusters of freshly picked marigolds intermingled with burning incense made of the resin of the copal tree, along with candles as a welcoming touch for the dead. Treats like pan de muerto or fruits are also a staple of ofrendas. These ofrendas can vary in size and complexity. They can be small enough to fit on the side table or encompass an entire room. Once you have secured your tissue paper with your twist tie, take your scissors and round out the edges. This will give your flower some shape. Now, gently fan out the edges to make a bow shape. When you're ready, gently separate the layers and lift them towards the center. Your kit should have enough tissue paper to make 10 colorful flowers. Set them aside when you're done. During the Day of the Dead celebrations, family members will use large bunches of cempasúchil to decorate gravesites. Some even build elaborate displays using the marigold blooms. The marigold petals are also used to make a trail from the cemetery to the ofrenda at the family home. It is believed that the deceased loved ones will be guided by these petals on their journey from the spirit world. Now it's time to make your monarch butterflies. Use the template to cut out the wings using your black cardstock, and use the orange and white paper to cut out the wing patterns. Here's a tip. If you prefer to trace your template onto the paper before cutting, glue the center of the butterfly onto the wings. Position your shapes onto the cardstock, and when satisfied, glue them onto the paper. Dip the toothpick into the white paint to add dots to your butterfly wings. Sprinkle some glitter along the center of your butterfly to give it a bit of shimmer. For an added touch, fold each wing towards the center, like so. Once you have all your elements, you can begin to decorate your wreath. Begin by gluing your sugar skull. You can glue it on the side or at the center. Now glue the monarchs onto your wreath. The monarch butterfly's migratory arrival in Mexico coincides with the Day of the Dead celebrations. For many, the monarchs represent the souls of their ancestors returning to visit them for Dia de los Muertos. This belief originated with the Perupecha as well as the Mazahua, two indigenous peoples of central Mexico. Then carefully glue your paper flowers. Attach the ribbons at the bottom of your wreath and give them a bit of a curl. To complete your wreath, take your black ribbon and loop it around the top, then tie a knot. Thank you for joining me for this project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in learning more about the Day of the Dead, contact an adult services librarian. See you next time!